Dallas Cowboys fans have reached their boiling point just 3 weeks into the 2024 NFL season, and they're taking unprecedented action in an attempt to shake up their beloved team. A grassroots campaign has emerged among Cowboys Nation, calling for none other than team owner and general manager Jerry Jones to fire himself from his long-held GM role. This unusual protest stems from years of pent-up frustration with the team's management decisions, a string of disappointing seasons, and a poor start to the current one. The campaign comes in the wake of the Cowboys' humiliating performance in the first 3 games of the season, where the team dropped 2 consecutive matchups, including a lopsided defeat to the Baltimore Ravens. However, fans are clear that their frustrations aren't solely tied to the scoreboard or the blowout losses. Instead, they point to deeper structural issues with the franchise, problems that have plagued the team for over a year, issues they believe could have been addressed with better management. A growing list of problems Dallas fans, both casual observers and diehard supporters, have long noticed the cracks in the team's foundation. The team's inability to stop the run, despite it being a glaring weakness, has been a source of aggravation. Critics argue that this is due to Jones' refusal to adequately invest in the defensive interior, leaving the Cowboys vulnerable against power-running teams. On the other side of the ball, the Cowboys' running game has been equally underwhelming, largely because of the turnover on the offensive line and the lack of investment in securing high-caliber running backs. The passing game, which was once a strength, is now in disarray, and fans point to an off-season contract dispute with the Cowboys' star receiver as a major factor. The wideout missed all of summer training camp, and while the player ultimately won the contract standoff, the ordeal left the offense out of sync. Adding insult to injury, the Cowboys' front office failed to bring in any significant veteran depth during the offseason, a decision that is now haunting the team. Blame falls on Jerry Jones. At the heart of all these issues is Jerry Jones, who has served as both the owner and general manager of the Cowboys since purchasing the team in 1989. While Jones is revered for turning the Cowboys into the most valuable sports franchise in the world, many fans argue that his stubborn approach to managing the team is holding them back from achieving on-field success. Over the past few years, discontent has been growing, and now, after witnessing what they see as preventable mistakes, Cowboys Nation has had enough. Fans have organized a public campaign, taking to social media and launching the hashtag #FireJerryJonesGM. Their message is simple. Jones, the general manager, needs to step aside and hire someone more capable of building a winning roster. A predictable standoff. Despite the public outcry, the chances of Jones actually relinquishing control of football operations are slim to none. Throughout his tenure, Jones has made it clear that he's not interested in stepping down as GM, once famously saying, "Over my dead body." This sentiment hasn't changed, even as criticism mounts. In a recent interview with longtime Cowboys beat reporter Clarence Hill Jr., Jones addressed the idea head-on, delivering a fiery response. "I've done it all. So I have an inordinate amount of confidence that, if anybody can figure out how to get this, done, I can figure out how to get it done," Jones said. "I've been there every which way from Sunday, and have I busted my ass a bunch. And there's nobody living that's out cutting and shooting that can't give you a bunch of times they busted their ass. So hell no, there's nobody that could, come in here and do all the contracts, and be a GM any better than I can. Plus, I'm where the buck stops. When up, I got to cover it. And so there you can't give anybody enough. There's nobody can do it." Jones' comments only poured gasoline on the fire, further igniting the frustration among fans. While the #FireJerryJonesGM movement is gaining steam, history has shown that football boycotts and campaigns rarely lead to any real change. Nevertheless, fans feel compelled to make their voices heard and express their collective disappointment. A complicated legacy. One of the more complicated aspects of this issue is that, while Jerry Jones continues to be the public face of the team, his son, Stephen Jones, has quietly taken on much of the day-to-day decision-making over the past decade. As the Cowboys' executive vice president, Stephen Jones oversees much of the financial side of the franchise, including contract negotiations. Meanwhile, Will McClay, the team's vice president of player development, is responsible for identifying talent and potential acquisitions. However, it is Jerry Jones who has the final say on major decisions, such as trades and draft picks, leaving him squarely in the crosshairs of Cowboys Nation's frustrations. Despite the internal structure, Jerry Jones' role as the ultimate decision-maker ensures that he bears the brunt of the blame when things go wrong. For fans, the problem isn't just that Jones is still involved. It's that they believe his decisions are preventing the team from being all in on winning, unlike other franchises that consistently compete for Super Bowls. The Cowboys' global brand and fan frustration. One of the reasons Jones is unlikely to step aside is the enormous success of the Cowboys as a brand. Valued at over $9 billion, the team is the most valuable franchise in all of professional sports, thanks in large part to Jones' business acumen. AT&T Stadium, often called Jerry World, is not only a top-tier venue for football games but also a global tourist attraction. The Cowboys are, in essence, a marketing machine, and Jones' ability to create a team that both fans and detractors follow religiously has only strengthened his resolve.